This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Right, the horses, I've always maintained that the horses will always guide where this channel goes. You know, if there is an opportunity, then we will try and take it. Australian 2-year-olds, I feel there might be an opportunity here for a while. What we're going to try and do is we're going to try and identify some decent Australian 2-year-olds ahead of the leading 2-year-old end of season Australian races. For those that don't know, Australian racing works on a different calendar to us. Their year starts on August the 1st and ends on July the 31st. So we're in fact sort of halfway through their season. What they tend to do is they tend to race quite a lot around the time of the Melbourne Cup. And then they have towards the end of the English turf season, October time, September, October, November time. Then they have a break. And then they come back around January, around February, March and April time. You know, and we've got a race, the big 2-year-old races. So they sort of have a lot of trials from races like the Blue Diamond and the Golden Slipper, and then we're up to the mile races like the JJ Adkins Plate and other races like the Sire's Produce. And that leads us nicely on to the first half of next season, you know, which will be sort of August 2023, when these 2-year-olds will become 3 and then go for the early Guineas and Classics, leading us up to around November, December, January time. And then we just repeat the process next year, all things being equal. So I'm going to try and keep a track on some Aussie 2-year-olds, get a few Aussie 2-year-olds out there, all in good time for these races. You know, there's a very quick turnover in Australia. It's not uncommon for horses to race a lot more often than they race in Europe. And why wouldn't you? For the excellent prize money that is on offer out in Australia. Right, so without further ado, with the miracles of science, I will be back shortly and we will take a look at the first identified Australian 2-year-old of 2023. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to what, in fact, is the first Australian 2-year-old horse of 2023. I quite enjoy Australian racing, to be honest. A lot of the information is there. People, it's like looking for horses anywhere, really. People just need to use a variety of sites to get the full picture of the horses. Right, this filly, 2-year-old filly, came to prominence just last weekend. It is the Justify sired Annabelle Neesham trained Coolmore-owned filly, Learning to Fly. She got off the mark at the first time of asking this weekend when she landed the Group 3 Widden Stakes at Rose Hill. And this filly is from a line I've followed 3 or 4 times in what is now my 4th year of following Australian racing, and it's gave me a nice insight really into one of the Coolmore families that they use in Australia. People see there that the dam of Learning to Fly is called Ennis Hill. People see that the site I'm using here is called Racing Australia .horse. It's a bit tricky though, because it uses a lot of modals and a lot of pop-ups. You know, for instance, that site, the links for each horse will be the same. It doesn't sort of link, each horse hasn't got its own page, so to speak. So it takes a bit of a preparing. But you see that Ennis Hill is a 7-year-old bay mare by Fastnet Rock out of a New Zealand bred mare called Hips Don't Lie. She won 1 out of 7 races on the track. People will see that was in fact also on her second start when she won the Chairman's Stakes, a Group 3. You see that they're going to go from top to bottom here. The most recent run is at the bottom. You see then it didn't really make it 9th in the Blue Diamond of 2018 Ennis Hill. Never really hit the form again when it won the Chairman's in February of 2018. But she is actually quite a well-bred horse. Hips Don't Lie is the second dam of this horse, what is now a 17-year-old bay mare by Stravinsky. They will also see that she won 5 out of 13 races. She won the Herald Sun listed race at Flemington. She also won the Talindert Stakes at Flemington. She won the Group 2 Riesling Stakes at Canterbury Park, I think that is, in 2008. And she also won the Schweppes. The Schweppes 1000. I don't know if that's a pattern race or not. By Johnny Murtagh, very young Johnny Murtagh in 2008. Very interesting. So the horse has had a good career, Hips Don't Lie. Group 2 and dual listed winner. Don't know if she managed to get any Group 1 place in, or was she ever tried Group 1 company. She was actually 7th in the 2008 Slipper. And she was 6th in the Blue Diamond of 2008. So that's 2 we've got to the Blue Diamond. The first mare and the second mare both ran in the Blue Diamond. Future clues there. But she has also bred some nice horses. One of them we actually follow. This horse is on a site called racenet.com. I'd have to describe it really as the Australian Racing Post, but they don't give anything away. For instance, you can only look at the last 5 runs of a horse before it starts charging you, things like that. You know, I mean, luckily this horse only ran once and won. It won the listed Ingles Nursery of 2020, and it then unfortunately never saw the track again. But it is that stud for Coolmore, Acrobat. And there is also another full sister as well, who is now 10, called Lake Geneva. She won 2 out of 14 races, but more importantly, she has won the listed Crockett Stakes, and she has got good listed. She's got good group race form somewhere. She was actually 2nd in the Widden Stakes. This horse won. She was 3rd in the 2014 Blue Diamond and 3rd in the 2015. This is Golden Slipper as well. And she also won a maiden. All that was the maiden. She won a race to get off the mark before winning the listed Crockett Stakes. Placed in the Group 2 Silver Shadow as well, and the Red Roses Group 3 race there. So she didn't really get her head in front as often as people would have liked, but she did get the pattern race win, and is also a dual Group 1 placed horse. She hasn't really bred anything as of yet though. Hips Don't Lie is also quite interesting because she herself is related to a couple of nice enough horses. We'll look at the 4th dam quickly though. Procure, 3rd dam, Procure, who is now, according to this, 28, foaled in 1994 and down, has only winning 1 of 4 starts. A maiden with no 3-year-old, no Metropolitan wins race, and she was never tried in a pattern race, according to this. But she did breed some nice horses. One of them is Azevedo. And Azevedo won 5 of 37 starts. But he ran some good races. He was placed in the Group 3 Rubiton Stakes and was also placed in the Group 1 Lightning of 2003. His form tailed off a bit at the end, but he was Group 1 placed in his early career. Just making sure we didn't pick up any more listed races there. So he's in the Class 5s now and just milking them up a bit. No. So that's his form as of Ado. And there's also a dam in there called Acquired, who was 18, also by O'Reilly and by Procure, who won 7 of her 53 starts. Yeah, so this might she was 5th in a Group 2 there in 2007. And then it was all down to the Class 1 races, and I don't know if she ever got back at listed level for 53 starts. Probably not. She herself has foaled Splintex. You know, this is one off the line as well as Acrobat that I actually did follow for a while out in Australia. It had a good strike rate. It won her 7 of 24 races. You know, they brought it through the grades quite well. Towards the end, it won the Spark of Life in February 2020, and then it won the Arrowfield Stakes, Group 2 at Randwick in 2020. It won the Hallmark Stakes of 2021 and Group 3. It won another Group 2 there, the Robbie Lewis of 2021. It was arguably unlucky not to win a Group 1 race at some point, this horse. I do feel that. It ran some nice races. Yeah, it looked a good horse on occasions, but it just found Group 1s a little bit too much for it. But it's a multiple Group 2 winner, Splintex. And it said breeder when we checked on it, so that horse might have gone to stud as well. So we've looked at the first 3 dams really on the Australian side. We will see that Learning to Fly is from family 32, which is a strange one. We had a quick look at it. We'll show you it in a minute. We'll just check what the 4th dam, get in there. See if she managed to hit the track 62 times and only winning twice. And she is in fact also a multiple black type producer, looking for ones really that have ran not many times and have won a lot of money. Multiple, which leaves us with these 2 really. Oh, she's a none of that. I think that's bred a few nice ones possibly. Trista Sheen won 2 out of 13 races, and it won the Fairview Ford Stakes in 1998 in New Zealand. And she has not really bred anything. So this one here, Rock to Sheen. Could be going down a bit of a rabbit hole here. I look at so many horses. And it looks like we are. It's down another dark alley there. And all sort of, so this horse here has got good pattern form and good slipper form in the first 2 dams. The 3rd dam also is quite well related, and it took us a while to find out where we were on the one of the other legacy sites we used, 32. It took us a while. We had to go all the way back to the Cecilias. We found Cove Shore in the end, was the first one we found on it, and that was foaled in 1932. There's also a horse in there, Atlee, that won an Australian Guineas, the Melbourne Racing Club Guineas, in around more time, 1945, called Atlee. But there isn't a lot, as you see. They're all very. There's a Ledger winner there of 1905 in Britain, Chalacombe. But excuse me, if you start from the top, it was quite hard to trace this one down. Right, if you're looking in the 17th century, this is a line that was just dying out when this woman wrote this list, I think. There's a bit more in Australia in 1927 and 1930 there. Derby and Oaks, Argentina as well, but that's around the turn of the 18th and 19th century. There's the 1879 Kentucky Oaks winner. There's our section. A Belgian Derby winner. There's our little bit. Argentina Derby Oaks and Guineas winner. 1891, 1915. American Classic winner there, 1867. You know, you're getting old when your horses are side by Eclipse. Ruthless. And there's a bit going in Italy there around the 1970s. The Italian Derby winner of 1969. Raimondo de Capua is the most recent one we've found so far. And then there's a few more Argentinian Derby winners, a couple more around the 1927 and 1929 in Argentina. So it's an interesting line, not one you get to see a lot of, it's fair to say. And let's watch Learning to Fly win before we wrap this video up, shall we?
40. They're ready to go. The Whitton Stakes, stand by. And they're racing. Steffi Magnetica missed the kick a length or so, and Steel City wasn't great out of the gates, and Perfect Proposals come out running. Is going straight to the front into the first turn and Learning to Fly quickly on the scene together with Lizzie's Jammer, who's going to settle in third, followed by Divine Glory. Steel City back in fifth. Then Steffi Magnetica from Cigar Flick, Midnight of Mumbai Muse, and last of all is Just Glamorous. So it's Perfect Proposal in front. From Learning to Fly is right up there, close to the speed. Then came Lizzie's Gem, Steel City fourth now. Then came Divine Glory, Cigar Flick, Steffi Magnetica, Midnight Muse. Last of all, Just Glamorous. Perfect Proposal turns in front. From Learning to Fly, Perfect Proposal. Learning to Fly, Chad Schofield goes full throttle now. Cigar Flick starting to run on powerfully, and Steel City still coming. It's Learning to Fly just in front. Steel City looms on the outside, and Cigar Flick. Three of them across the track. Learning to Fly coming back on Steel City. Learning to Fly heads off Steel City. Learning to Fly too strong in the Whitton Stakes. Beat Steel City. Third between Mumbai Muse and Cigar Flick, who got pretty tight at the end. Then came Steffi Magnetica, Divine Glory, Perfect Proposal weakened out, followed by Just Glamorous.
I mean, that to me, I thought was a very good performance. You know, I thought the horse showed enough early speed to be competitive, to lay up with them what you have to do out there. And then it also showed the requisite stamina at the end after a fairly decently run race to actually find a bit more at the end and repel the eventual runner-up. I mean, that to me, looking at the pedigree of the horse, I would say it will definitely get a lot further than the 5.5 furlongs it ran over there. And it will be very interesting to see how they campaign this horse moving forward. I read somewhere in Australia it's now something like the second favourite for one of the big 2-year-old races. I can't remember which one behind. Won a horse that did actually get beat in the Colts equivalent of the race, this race, the Canterbury. This is the Whitton for the fillies. But there's about 7 or 8 weeks left yet until the big 2-year-old race in question. So I imagine that there was plenty more trialling to do. And if I find any more that I think worthy of having a little chat about, chances are we'll try and get a couple on side, like I said at the beginning, to lead us into the big 2-year-old Australian Group 1 races and the early Guineas of 3, which are run coming up to Christmas. So we're trying to, around the time of the Melbourne Cup sort of time. So we're trying to get ahead of ourselves, you know, and trying to plan ahead. And hopefully this filly Learning to Fly will be the start of something good out in Australia. Right then, everybody, I'm going to leave this video here. Can I just say thank you very much to everybody who supports the video and supports the channels. It is very much appreciated. Thank you very much for watching, and I will be back soon, all being well. Thank you very much.